late.
We're a few days late. We're ungovernable here at the Circle Jerk America Pod. This is
But what's the most important thing? Is it the protests? Is it the doggies? Like, what's going on? I feel like everything's the same.
We got a lot of good stuff this week. It's pretty packed. We could start with the Kristi Noem clip as a follow-up to our story from last week.
We've been following the career trajectory of Kristi Noem for the entirety of this podcast. We've coached Griffin out of his infatuation and onto Team Skeptic after the dog killing, the goat killing, and now we can add a string of hysterical lies that rival that of our own president. She has taken a play out of the old Joe Biden book and said, what if I just lied about everything and hope nobody would call me on it.
Yeah, he gets to do it all the time, and it looks so fun. You're just like creating stories about cannibals, doing all like it. But the thing is, Kristi's backing down from the lies. She needs to boldly say, I did hang out with Kim Jong Un. We smoked hella kush. We played Metal Gear Solid. Like, I don't know why she's backing down from this. No one can prove this, really. And if someone does prove it, they're a deep state spoof. So I don't know why she's backing down.
Yeah, the thing about this is, though, I feel like when Joe Biden makes up crazy shit like that, everyone kind of just understands that he's like your grandpa who's telling a story. That,
she's not old enough.
Jesse James was your great-grandfather.
Exactly, yeah, that's something my grandfather brought out.
Me too. It's everybody's grandpa.
Yeah, exactly, at least if you're from Missouri. But... Kristi Noem is like, 40 years old. She's clearly not this doddering old man with a lifetime of memories to sort through in her brain. This is ridiculous.
That's such a charitable way to describe a man who got busted in the 1988 election for doing the same shit. But go on.
That's true. She does have a long history of making
I will say,
Kristi
Noem does look like one of the teens in, what's the movie where death is chasing you?
Final Destination?
She looks like she's having sort of the Final Destination life flashing before her eyes moments, always. There's something in her face.
It's the Botox.
It might be the Botox. Yeah, it might be
really
the insane amount of Botox.
More than like one facial expression, at least in these clips. Let's take a quick look here.
Let's take a quick look.
Getting questioned about this anecdote about meeting Kim Jong Un, which again I don't even think really makes sense. I don't think Kim Jong Un meets with governors of states. That just seems like, what the fuck? Why would that happen? But let's take a look.
Gavin, is your mic plugged in? Check your inputs. Are you on the right mic? Check the Riverside.
It's not. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm saving this podcast.
Does it sound better?
A little. It still sound quiet. Is the inputs on your USB? Folks, this is also a road episode, which means no editing. Yeah, we can hear you. But it's still a little A little Qui-Gon Jinn. Phantom Menace Episode 1 back in theaters this weekend to a 2.3 million box office. Oh, what? Really? Okay, we can stop right here.
I think we're fucked now. Jar Jar Binks.
I read an article that was like, the actor from Jar Jar Binks is proud of his legacy. And it's like, yeah, man. Fuck all these wokes. Okay?
Hey, bro, if he gets royalty checks, I'd be proud of my legacy, too. I'd be happy to sit on my ass as the guy who was in the worst Star Wars movie of all time. Actually, I don't know. Do you think the first Phantom Menace is the worst, or do you think the second one is the worst?
Of the first
I'm not including anything.
We're doing first six, right?
Yeah, I don't include anything after that. Those are all equally dog shit to me. I thought The Force Awakens relied a lot on nostalgia, and it was basically a New Hope remake. After that, I stopped giving a single shit, and I didn't even watch the Jedi one or whatever. The second one of the remakes that Rian Johnson did was so abominable. It was so horrendously bad. Hello?
I'm sorry. Politics. We don't do Rian Johnson. That's too toxic. Okay?
I was talking about how I don't even acknowledge the fucking...
Your mic's fixed,
If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up.
Yes. And it's a lot better, too. It's a lot better, too.
DIY.
Before we have to finish this before Gavin gets back. Yeah, so I think Phantom 1 is great, actually. I think it's a really fun family action-adventure film. I think Attack of the Clones might be the worst, but... I have more fun watching that than I have watching like Return of the Jedi, which is the last of the old three. Like, I don't know.
But you can't argue that one's actually a pretty good movie, like to finish up the trilogy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this is a political show. You already mentioned that.
Show.
Let's get back to the Kristi Noem Meister. We're going to demand that Griffin keep it in his pants. We're going to be seeing a lot of Kristi Noem. South Dakota, woman of Griffin's dreams, dog killer.
I was thinking about it, and I was like...
Living for Gavin's facial expressions right into the camera right now, also, everybody. He's
figuring it out.
I know, I was just saying, it was hilarious.
I think she went from a 9 to, like, a 6 after killing the puppy.
But it's still, it's still like wood, question mark?
Yeah, I mean, listen...
I know we're good. All right, everybody's ready to rock and roll. God,
sorry.
Griffin's this guy's a resident pervert over here. You just won't shut the fuck up. He loves to objectify. This woman is the governor of South Dakota. Let's assess her on her morals. Let's assess her on her character.
Best friend. Let's play that video.
Yeah, let's pull this up. Here we go.
So
this is going to be an episode for the diehard.
Yeah.
Lessons.
The true believers.
Leadership, and you bring up some specific incidents I want to ask you about. You talk about meeting some world leaders, and one specific one. Quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un. I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jong Un?
That's supposed to be a punchline. I've been a children's pastor after all. Staring down.
Yeah, as if even if she did actually meet him, as if she would have, stared him down and like told him off or something. Like, bullshit. What are you gonna do?
She would have given him the Dennis Rodman treatment. This man was very humble. I thought he was very humble.
Yeah.
He cared a lot about his people. But what stood out to me most was that he was very humble. He was a humble man. And you're just like, oh yeah, this man famously humble for building monuments of himself as
Wow, that's some imperialist propaganda, Zach.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
And here's the other thing. Kim Jong-un probably has killed very little dogs. I would say maybe 0 dogs. And so who's the actual little tyrant here? I'll say it's the 95-pound woman shotgunning puppies like Duke Nukem. But, to each their own.
All right, let's
hear from
response.
Kristi.
This is great.
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being...
They probably had to get rid of so many copies of that book that were all ready to go, but then they had to make that one change at the last minute.
Thanks. Hell yeah, my brother brought a Red Bull. The thing is, I would like the redacted version of this, like when you do a FOIA request and like everything is like highlighted over, blacked out. That's just going to be like 95% of this book. It's just the edited version. We turned it into a picture book,
Better for her demographic anyway, you know what I mean? It was just a bunch of pictures of American flags and cops masturbating.
And dead dogs.
A couple of trophy pictures of a hunt down in Africa. Finish home, bring home the...
Yep.
I don't know, sorry.
Trophy hunting, but all the trophies are dog heads.
Let's take down trophy hunters and let's bring back trophy wives. Kristi Noem, hit play.
released in a couple of days, and that those edits will be in place, and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong Un. That's what you're saying.
We vibed.
No, I've met with many world leaders. Many world leaders.
Met with many world leaders.
The world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that.
But you did. You did in your book. You talked about it in your book. You talked about a specific meeting with a world leader who you stared down because you're no stranger to staring down little tyrants. Well, are you going to talk about it? Or are you not going to talk about it? This is like when you start pleading the fifth and everybody knows they've got you, like the jury's turned. There's no coming back. You just stop answering questions.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of an if I did it moment, but like for national security. Like if I did stare down a nuclear power.
Or rather the Mark Furman moment where it's like, did you plant that evidence? I plead the fifth. And it's like, oh shit, he planted the evidence.
And as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that was adjusted. So the book is not released until Tuesday, and so we're doing all that we can to make sure that those changes are made. And I'm going to continue to focus on what
you
this
betcha
book is
we're out here and we're making
blueprint.
sure that there won't be any lawsuits. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm having my people look at it. Yeah, they say we're walking a fine line. Okay, so we're having the people look at that, and they're looking at it, and we're excited for the book to come out. Yeah, you betcha.
Why did she do any of this? That's what I want to know. Like, why? What is the point of lying in
She's
this
facing
book?
the nation.
What's the point of writing about killing your dog? Like, all of this is so obviously inadvisable. Who was?
But then it's been taken to a new level where she has sort of upped the ante in a certain way. Because did you see the commander part?
Yeah, we're gonna watch that clip next, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, let's finish this one out.
That lays out for the American citizen on all of the things in the background and stories of my life, but also what I think that needs to be identified in politics and what's broken today. I talk about how broken the money game is, how broken it is that we've got consultants that are getting rich off of elected officials, and then how fake some elected politicians are. Every single person in this country wants someone in elected office that's a human being.
That tells the truth about meeting various world leaders.
I'm a human being so filled with Botox I cannot move my head left or right.
Yeah. All right, let's find the one about cricket. Here we go.
Let's do it. This is sort of my Kendrick versus Drake.
You talk multiple times about it. In fact, at the end of the book, you say the very first thing you would do if you got to the White House that was different from Joe Biden is you'd make sure Joe Biden's dog was nowhere on the grounds. Commander, say hello to cricket. Are you doing this to try to look tough? Do you still think that you have a shot at being gay?
Well, number one, Joe Biden's dog has attacked 24 Secret Service
Yes.
people. So how many people is enough people to be attacked and dangerously
I should have
hurt
thrown him in the pit.
before you make a decision on a dog and
Well,
what to
he's
do
not
with it?
living at the White House
That's a
anymore.
question that the president should be held accountable to.
You're saying he should be
That's what
shot?
the president should be accountable
You're
to.
saying he should be shot. Yeah, and to Biden's credit, they actually did like what any normal person would do and just like put the dog somewhere that it wouldn't attack people at, you know, like, hey, let's go put it in the safe farm where it won't hurt anyone. Not their instant fucking reaction wasn't like, let's kill this shit.
And also, it's like but the way she said it is like it's like when the new president comes in, the old president's dog is still there.
They have a
And you
tough
have
decision
to-
on their hands.
You have to initiate a dog fight where your dog has to fight the other dog. She's kind of like was it Mike Tyson? Who's a dog fighter?
I think he did.
Michael Vick. You guys
Michael
are thinking of
Vick.
Michael Vick. You uncultured swine. What are you trying to? Oh wow. Are all athletes interchangeable in your brain? You're like, oh, I know this guy from the '90s. He went to Michael Tyson went to jail for rape. Okay, it was
Doesn't he have
Michael
like a
Vick.
tiger though or something?
He does have a tiger. You know, what of it, dude? He's about to fight at 58 years old. He's about to go in and get an illegally sanctioned American boxing match with a YouTube star. And do you know what? At 58 years old, I'm not sure that he won't knock that motherfucker out. It's one of the Paul brothers. I can never tell which one is which. But anyway, I digress. It was Michael Vick. To be honest, everybody...
I'd like to feed Michael Vick to the Paul brothers
the thing about...
in a chow.
All right, anyway.
Sorry to throw you off there, Zach.
You guys are fine. The Michael Vick
I'm
thing...
sorry,
Michael Vick's interesting because...
Cannibals are hot right now. Zach, you don't have to mute.
But, dude, the audio is such dog shit if we don't mute.
No.
I'm like...
No, it's fine.
All right, the people are going to revolt, and I'm going to be like, you know what, guys? This is
We
me
need to hear your
documenting my
CPAC
efforts to
machine.
salvage. Yeah. I sound like Darth Vader. Okay, that's why I like the Return of the Jedi the most out of all the Star Wars movies, just because you get the most Vader. Just he gets to finally see his son with his own
Vader
eyes.
skin.
Griffin.
Yeah, you can see
Anyway,
his beautiful skin.
All right, let's
long
hear
story
some more.
short, we should feed cricket to the what is it? The
Michael
wood chipper.
Tyson.
But what does she say about this? Does she? Is there any more to this clip?
Yeah.
What is the number? And I would say about Republicans criticizing me, these are the same Republicans that criticized me during COVID. They've criticized me when I've made other decisions in South Dakota to protect my state. And my state today is extremely happy and thriving. We're doing well. We've got thousands of people moving to our state because they love the opportunities that are here and the businesses that have come and how we've gotten to be.
Can anybody name the biggest city in South Dakota? I mean, unprompted, can you start walking down a street and like, I live in Kansas City. At least people know where the fuck that is on the map, right? At least people, hey, I'm from Kansas City. Nobody goes, what's that, right?
I do. That's Cope, Zach.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes I think it's in Kansas.
Yeah, we're the closest that Griffin ever gets to the the plebeian class. He's like he surrounds himself majority by the aristocracy, but he slums it with us to give himself street cred. It's kind of like when Drake hangs out with 21 Savage. It's like, hey, what are you doing with this guy over here? It's like, well,
I'm Drake.
I want
you guys are Millie Bobby Brown.
That has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the nation. Everybody has an opportunity for higher wages. We've got revenues and reserves.
She's not gonna dogfight more. She's not gonna say the dog should fight.
There's one more clip about the dog if you guys want to react to it.
I got that dog in me.
I think we've done this for 2 episodes now. I think we get the picture.